So what is Math 95? What is the content of the course that we're doing this semester? So at most other universities, a course like this goes by a name like intermediate algebra. The idea being that it covers what we would consider algebra material up through what's called in high school Algebra 2. Right? So that kind of starts out with just thinking about numerical expressions and arithmetic and the order of operations and fractions and the sort of nuts and bolts of numbers. But then it goes forward into working on solving linear equations and inequalities, linear systems. We'll talk about graphs of linear equations, slopes, intercepts, that kind of stuff. That's the Algebra 1 material, and then we shift over to the Algebra 2 realm and talk about exponents, polynomial arithmetic and factoring, rational and radical expressions, and the quadratic formula. So it's a lot, and the first time that you saw all of this stuff, you saw it over probably a period of at least 2 or 3 years worth of the high school curriculum. Maybe longer if you count some of this earlier sort of numerical and fraction stuff, which gets introduced sort of 4th, 5th, 6th grade. So the first time you saw this, it was spread out over a long period of time. When you see it again now, it's going to be spread out over 4 weeks. So this stuff is going to go by pretty quickly. So that's one of the reasons that the course is set up in unique ways, is I want to make sure that the time is not the barrier to you demonstrating what you've learned, and that there's always an opportunity for you to show that you've mastered something. But the material should all have at least a familiar tinge to it as stuff that you've seen before. Here on the back page of the syllabus is a more full list of the topics that are here. And there's a total of 12 topics listed in this list, starting with arithmetic and continuing all the way down into radical expressions. As Math 095 students, all 12 of these are in your wheelhouse this semester. Math 090, by contrast, can skip some of them. So they can skip the ones with the stars, topic 3-star, 8-star, 9-star. Those are things that you all will need to do because those are going to be important for Precalculus next semester, but Math 090 students don't. The idea is that there are 12 topics here, and so among those 12 topics for this semester, you'll have an opportunity in a variety of ways to demonstrate your mastery of those topics, and you're expected to demonstrate mastery on enough of them that you're able to check off enough of these what are called topic mastery boxes on your grade sheet. So how this works is when you complete a quiz in the class, and quizzes are things that you'll download via Blackboard, print out, fill out, and then resubmit. Either scan or take a photograph and then upload it to Blackboard. So those are things that there is sort of a paper trail. It's sort of traditional. You're just getting it and submitting it electronically, but you're doing the work on pencil and paper. So completing a quiz, completing a problem on an exam. So 2 weeks from today, we'll have an exam in which you'll have the opportunity to demonstrate mastery on these topics. Likewise, 4 weeks from today, same deal. And the other way of doing it is by completing a web work write-up, and we'll talk more about web work in a bit. But these are opportunities for you to demonstrate that you've mastered a given topic. Well, you might say there's 12 topics and there's, looks like 20 different checkboxes. That's because on each of these topics you have an opportunity to get up to 2 check marks in it. Right? So, for example, let's go to topic 1, arithmetic. If, for example, later on today, you're able to download, fill out a quiz on arithmetic and submit it. And if I look at that quiz and I decide, based on the standards that I'm using to grade here, if I decide that your solution shows sufficient understanding of the topic that no additional instruction or review is needed, in other words, I can look at your work and say, yeah, you get it. Right? I don't need you to go back and look at anything again. Even if your answer isn't completely correct, there might be some small errors, there might be some gaps in your justification, but it's not anything major. Then that means that you've met the standard on that quiz, and you can check off one of these checkboxes. And all the checkboxes on this list you should check from left to right. So if tonight you submit an arithmetic quiz and I judge that it meets the standard, I'll grade it, and you'll see that you can check off the first of these checkboxes. And you can check off up to 2 boxes per topic mastery area. So there's 12 topic mastery areas. That means you could check off in principle 24 boxes, but you only need to check off 20 in order to get all the way to the end of the line on topic mastery. And this should be where your main focus is this semester, because how you earn a grade in this course is, first of all, by checking off all the boxes in one of the 5 columns on this grade chart over here on the right. That's what I call the bundle. So you get a bundle grade that includes elements of topic mastery, also includes completed reading assignments, which we'll talk about in a minute, contributed videos, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then also problems completed within the WebWork online system. And if once you've checked off all the boxes in one of these columns, then you get the number of points for your bundle that's at the top of that column. So if I check off 5 topic mastery boxes, 3 reading assignments, and I complete 30 problems in WebWork, that gets me this D-level bundle, and so 54 points for the semester. And there's no partial credit. So if I only check off 4 of these boxes and not 5, even if I completed all the reading assignments and 30 WebWork problems, I still don't qualify for the D-level. So it's all or nothing in each of these columns as you check off the boxes from left to right. So that's going to be the biggest adjustment, is that this course is not a course that operates on giving you points on each assignment. Like, I'm not going to be looking at your work and saying, oh, this is really a 6 out of 10 instead of a 7 out of 10 on this problem, right? I'm really going to be looking at it and saying, did you get it? Can I see that you got it based on your work? Or do you need to go back and look at it again? Okay. If the answer is yes, you got it, that means you get the full credit for that work. And if it doesn't, it means you get no credit for that work. And you'll have an opportunity to redo it, basically. So we'll talk about revisions also in a little bit. But the idea is that the work you do over the next 4 weeks is going to be devoted toward checking off these boxes from left to right. Topic mastery, maximum of 2 per area, and then reading assignments, contributed videos, and completing WebWork problems. Then, in the final analysis, 4 weeks from today, on the 22nd, your last exam, so your exam you take 4 weeks from today, will not only help you to check off more of these boxes, but you'll also get additional points. You can get additional points on that day, and those points will be added to your bundle grade to get your final grade for the semester. So it's a little bit convoluted. So a little bit more about the exams. So there'll be one exam 2 weeks from today, and then another 4 weeks from today. They're going to be exams that I've set aside 2-hour time blocks to do. So we'll do them not right away at the beginning of class, but the last 2 hours of the class. So for our 8 o'clock class meeting, we'll start the exams at 8:30. We can use that first half an hour to do any sort of last-minute review or any other activities that will help to get ready for that exam. But each time that you see the exam, it's going to be a comprehensive exam that contains all 12 topic areas for the course at the same time, which is a little strange because at the midpoint of the semester, you might not have gotten to all of those topics yet, but that's okay because, again, the only way that let's call it a midterm exam, even though it has all 12 of the topics on it, the only way that affects your grade is it gives you an opportunity to check off more of these checkboxes. So if you come in on the exam and you just lay a goose egg, most people don't, but let's say you get a 0 on that exam. It doesn't hurt your grade, you just miss an opportunity to get more of these checkboxes checked. So that's the other way in which this grading system is different, is that at any point you're only contributing positively to your grade. And if you have a bad day on a quiz, then it just doesn't count, and you get a chance to revise that quiz using a method we'll talk about in a minute. If you have a bad day on the exam, that's okay. You'll have another opportunity on later quizzes or on the exam at the end in order to recoup what you didn't get. So I try to set it up so that you only ever have the opportunity to help, to improve your situation by increasing your topic mastery. Again, at the midterm, so 2 weeks from today, the exam that you take is going to have all 12 topics, and the only thing that I'll use that exam to do is to add to your topic mastery checkboxes. 4 weeks from today, not only will that exam help you to check off more boxes if you haven't been able to check them yet, but that exam will also add points to your grade on a topic for topic basis. 2 points if you've mastered that topic on the final exam, and no points if you have not. And then the total between your bundle and the points that you're added on your final exam will become your total course grade. And for Math 095, to earn a total passing grade for the semester, that score needs to be 86 or larger. And that's not really a percentage exactly, it's just a number of points. So don't think of that as I need to get a B in order to pass the course. Because after all, for example, one pathway towards getting this 86 would be to complete the whole A-level bundle during the semester, and then come in and all you need are 6 points on the exam, which is really just 3 topics mastered on the final. So that's not a very high bar to set. But then again, some of those topics, you may not be able to complete the A-level bundle all the way before the final, because that would require completing some of those topics on the midterm, because otherwise you might not have had 2 opportunities to master them before the final exam. But that's one pathway to it. Another pathway might be to complete the B-level bundle. That's a total of 70 points. And then on the final exam, you would need 16 points, so that's 8 of the topics mastered on the final exam. So that's another pathway towards getting to that 86. So it's a number of different ways to do it. And I wrote this by hand on the paper syllabus that I handed out, but I didn't put it on this version of it. If you don't quite get to the 86 and you're somewhere in this band between 70 and 84, my recommendation to you is that probably makes you a good candidate. You're ready to retake that math placement exam as a way of moving forward instead of using the exam for this course. If you just didn't quite get to the mark for Math 095, where your work actually would have qualified you to pass 090, ironically enough, if you were an 090 student. So that if you end up in that band, then definitely my recommendation is go retake the placement exam right away, and you're probably a good candidate for doing it that way.